There's a person that I've coached 100 times. Different name, different job, different body, same story. They don't come to me because they know nothing. Actually, that's the funny part. Most of them know a lot. They know protein matters, they know lifting weight matters, they know walking is good, they know sleep matters, they know alcohol probably isn't helping, they know they should stop treating Monday like a magic spell, and yet every few months, they come back to the same place. New plan, new motivation, new playlist, new grocery haul, new "this time I'm serious" speech in the mirror. Then life punches a hole in the plan. A bad weekend, a sore back, a kid gets sick, work explodes, a vacation happens, sleep goes to shit, or they watch one YouTube video and suddenly their entire program is apparently trash. Then the plan collapses. And here's the mistake most people make. They think the collapse means they lack discipline. But most people don't have a discipline problem, they have a pattern problem. And until you know your pattern, you keep prescribing the wrong medicine. It's like walking into the gym with knee pain, saying, I just need to squat harder. Maybe. Or maybe your knee is telling you your setup is wrong. Same thing with fitness consistency. If you keep falling off, the answer isn't always try harder. Sometimes the answer is stop training the wrong problem. And here's a story to paint the picture. Let's call this person Alex. Alex is 36, busy job, decent income, not lazy, not clueless. They've been into fitness for years. They've had good runs, a few months where they felt dialed, training 4 days a week, eating pretty well, getting compliments, feeling like, okay, I'm back. And then something happens. And usually it's not dramatic. That's the part nobody talks about. Most people don't fall off because of some massive life disaster. They fall off because of one normal human week. One dinner out, one missed workout, one rough sleep, one stressful deadline, one weekend where the plans got blurry, and suddenly the brain does what the brain loves to do. It turns one data point into an identity. I blew it. I'm off track. I always do this. I'll restart on Monday. And Monday becomes less of a day and more of a concession booth. Alex doesn't need another macro calculator. Alex needs to know why the same movie keeps playing. Because there are different versions of Alex, and each version needs a different system. First version, the Monday restarter. This person can be perfect for 4 days. Monday to Thursday, they're locked in. They've got their chicken, rice, steps, training, water bottle, little smug walk through the grocery store like they've cracked the human code. And then Friday hits. One meal goes off plan. Then the brain says, well, we messed up already. And this is where the damage happens. Not from the burger, not from the fries, not from the beer. The damage happens from the story. I already blew it. This one sentence has ruined more fitness programs than carbs ever will. Because once the plan has to be perfect to count, everything becomes a cliff. The Monday restarter does not need more rules. They need a recovery protocol. They need a minimum viable day. The same way an athlete has a warm-up, a cool down, and a plan B. You need a plan for when life gets messy. Because it will. A minimum viable day might be protein at each meal, a walk, 10 minutes of movement, no spiral. That's it. Not sexy, but sexy doesn't save people. Systems do. The Monday restarter becomes successful when they stop asking, how do I stay perfect? And start asking, how do I recover fast? That's the whole game. That's the whole game. Not never falling, shortening the distance between the fall and the next rep. Then there's the ghost of who you were. This one hits former athletes hard. You used to be athletic once. You used to be fast, strong, explosive. You could jump into a random pickup game, random workout, random challenge, and your body can just handle it. Then life happened. Career, kids, stress, less sleep, maybe an old injury, maybe 10 years of not training like you used to. But in your head, you're still 22. So you come back and you try and train like the old version of you. Same intensity, same ego, same expectations, different body. And the body votes a tweaked knee, a cranky back, a shoulder that says, absolutely not, idiot. Then you take 6 months off, then you come back and do the same thing again. The person isn't weak, they're not washed, they're just letting a ghost write the program. And the ghost is a terrible coach. The fix is not to lower the standard forever. The fix is to rebuild the bridge. You need joint-aware training. You need conditioning that doesn't bury you. You need strength work that respects where your tissues are at right now. You need benchmarks that are honest. Not I used to, not back in the day, today. This body, this calendar, this recovery capacity. The ghost becomes successful when they stop trying to prove they're still that person and start building the next version. Because that version might even be better. Not younger, better. Smarter, more durable, more dangerous. That's the different kind of athlete. Then we have the researcher. This person knows too much. And I say that with love. They've listened to every podcast. They know about hypertrophy volume. They know about zone 2. They know about creatine, periodization, sleep stages. They know about reps in reserve and rate of perceived exertion. They can explain insulin sensitivity better than their actual weekly plan. And that's the problem. Their knowledge is high and their execution is low. They don't fail because they're dumb. They fail because they keep changing the input before the body can adapt. Program 1, then a podcast changes their mind. Program 2, then a YouTube video says full body is better. Program 3, then someone on Instagram says upper or lower is dead. Program 4, and suddenly they've optimized themselves into neutral. And here's the physiology piece. Your body adapts to repeated signals. Muscle grows from progressive tension over time. Aerobic fitness improves from repeated exposures over time. Skill improves from practice over time. Your body is not impressed by your spreadsheet if the signal keeps changing. The researcher archetype doesn't need more information. They need a constraint. One plan, 12 weeks, no tweaking. No, but what if I added? No. Run the damn program. The researcher archetype becomes successful when they stop confusing learning with changing. Learning should sharpen execution, not replace it. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is be boring long enough for your body to believe you. Then there's the grinder archetype. This person is doing the work, maybe too much, 5 or 6 days in the gym, macros tracked, steps hit, conditioning done, strength work done, maybe even extra work because they fell behind. And yet they're tired, sore all the time, sleep is weird, mood is flat, performance isn't moving, body composition is stuck. So what do? Exactly the wrong thing. They add more cardio, less food, harder training, more intensity. This is where coaching matters because the grinder's instinct is backwards. They don't need another push. They need a deload. They need food. They need sleep. They need to stop recovering like it's a reward for people who aren't tough enough. Recovery is not the opposite of training. Recovery is where training becomes adaptation. That's not motivational, that's physiology. You do not get fitter from the workout. You get fitter from recovering from the workout. The workout is the signal, recovery is the construction crew. And if you keep sending demolition teams into a building with no construction crew, don't act surprised when the place looks like shit. The grinder becomes successful when they realize more isn't always more. Sometimes more is just noise. Sometimes the bravest training decision is pulling back before your body forces you to. Then we have the juggler. This is the busy parent, the manager, the partner, the person with work, kids, aging parents, appointments, meals, bills, messages, and 12 people needing something from them. They've tried the 5-day plan. It worked for 2 weeks. They tried the hour-long sessions. It worked until life got real. They tried morning workouts. Then sleep got worse. They tried meal prep. Then Wednesday came and everyone hated the chicken. So they conclude, I don't have time. But usually that's not the full truth. The more accurate sentence is, I don't have a system that survives my actual day. The juggler doesn't need the optimal plan. They need the executable plan. And coaches screw this up all the time. They write programs for fantasy humans. Perfect schedule, perfect sleep, perfect food, perfect gym access, perfect emotional regulation. Cool. That person doesn't exist. The juggler needs 3 30-minute sessions, a 10-minute emergency version, default meals, walks that attach to their life, not compete with it, and a plan that works when the week is stupid. Because for this person, consistency doesn't come from ambition, it comes from friction reduction. Less deciding, more defaulting. The juggler becomes successful when they stop waiting for life to calm down. Life is certainly not calming down. Build the plan inside that chaos. That's the win. And then there's the rebuilder. This one is becoming more common. Someone loses a significant amount of weight, maybe through dieting, maybe through medication, maybe through both. They hit the number and they're proud of it. That's not nothing. But when they look in the mirror and think, wait, this isn't what I pictured. They're smaller, but softer, lighter, but weaker. The scale moved, but the body doesn't feel powerful. And this is where a lot of people get trapped. They think the answer is more weight loss, more cardio, more restriction, but they don't have a fat loss problem anymore. They have a building problem. The second half of transformation is muscle, strength, protein, progressive overload, maintenance calories, sometimes even a slight surplus. And that scares people because the scale might go up, but here's the reframe. The scale going down is not always progress, and the scale going up is not always failure. If you lost weight but lost muscle with it, the next phase is not punishment, it's construction. The rebuilder becomes successful when they stop chasing smaller and start chasing stronger, because the body they actually wanted was never lighter. It was capable, shaped, resilient, alive. Now back to Alex, because Alex could be any of these archetypes. Alex takes another quiz, reads another plan, gets another burst of motivation, but this time something different happens. They don't get a generic answer, they get a mirror. They see their pattern. And at first, it stings, because good coaching often does, not in a shameful way, in a damn, that's accurate way. The Monday restarter realizes the weekend was never the issue. The all or nothing response was. The ghost realizes they were training a past memory. The researcher realizes they were addicted to changing plans. The grinder realizes discipline had turned into self-sabotage. And the juggler realizes they didn't need more discipline. They needed fewer moving parts. The rebuilder realizes fat loss was chapter 1, not the whole book. And this is the movement where success starts, not with hype, not with cinematic montage, not with insane transformation promise. It starts with accuracy. Because when you name the pattern, you can finally stop fighting the wrong enemy. And here's the simple science. Long-term fitness success is not just the best workout. It's about the match between the plan and the person. A great program that doesn't fit your recovery, schedule, identity, stress, and history is not a good program. It's just a good idea that won't survive contact with your life. Adaptation requires repeated exposure, but repeated exposure requires adherence. And adherence requires a plan your nervous system, schedule, joints, appetite, and environment can actually tolerate. That's why two people can need opposite advice. One person needs to stop restarting. One person needs to stop overtraining. One person needs to stop researching. One person needs to stop chasing the athlete they used to be. One person needs to stop waiting for more time. One person needs to stop dieting and rebuilding. Same goal, different bottleneck, and that's the whole damn point. So what does success look like? It's not dramatic at first. That's important. The success version of Alex does not wake up one day with unlimited motivation. They don't become a robot. They don't suddenly love meal prep. They don't train perfectly forever. They just stop making the same mistake. The Monday restarter had a bad Saturday and trained Sunday. That's success. The ghost swaps the painful lift and keeps training. That's success. The researcher runs the same plan for 12 weeks without touching it. That's success. The grinder takes a real deload and watches performance come back. That's success. The juggler does the 10-minute version instead of skipping it completely. That's success. Rebuilder eats enough protein and starts lifting 3 days a week. That's success. Not cinematic, repeatable. And repeatable beats perfect every single time. Fitness is not built by the week you feel motivated. It's built by the week you normally disappear. That's the battlefield. So here's the question I want you to sit with. Not what plan should I do? Not yet. The better question is, what patterns keep beating me? Because until you answer that, you'll keep doing what most people do. You'll keep throwing effort at the wrong problem, more discipline for a system issue, more research for an execution issue, etc. So stop making fitness a morality test. You're not broken, you're pattern. And patterns can be changed, but only after they're named. That's why I built the Fitness Restart Quiz. Not to flatter you, not to tell you you're special, but to hand you the mirror and say, here's the loop, now here's the way out. Because most people don't need another restart. They need the right starting line. And once you have that, the game changes. You stop chasing perfect weeks. You start stacking recoverable ones. You stop trying to become someone else. You build the version of you that can actually keep going. That's the work That's the win. And always keep showing up. I'll catch you on the next one.